Hi everyone. So today is a rainy day, the day before a maple sap boiling day, and I am down to big chunks of my cottonwood firewood. So it's time to split the wood. So split wood should be really dry. Usually you cut your wood a year ahead. This was a down tree that was dead. So if you are splitting a dead tree, then you don't have to wait the year. Now, a lot of the smaller pieces will fit right into my fire pit. The big pieces won't, and I need to be able to get them to a manageable size. So I'm just cutting them down as small as what I can lift and to get into my homemade arch. The best thing about homesteading is self-sufficiency. Cash is king. You can sell this by the side of the road. We've got local neighbors with a 1 acre yard, and they want it for fire pits and things like that. So you can always have a nice little roadside stand of that. So as you know, we've got the woods, and we're getting more into the maple syruping, and watch for the videos on that. But this is about the log splitting. We're hand splitting our wood. We don't want to spend the money for a pneumatic splitter. Maybe a homemade version of one that's manual run might be in line, because this is hard work, and for a woman of 160 pounds, these things are heavy. We've got sledgehammer. This is stuff that's been laying around the farm, had been handed down like from my mom when she moved. Now, we've got several different wedges here, different sizes, different thicknesses. I've got 4, and in these big logs, a lot of times you end up using several. So, on a big log like this, I've got splits radiating out from the center, and that's real helpful to you. So on the smaller limbs of a tree, like this might be needed to start a split. Because this already has a split, I've chosen it for the video. We're going to start with the sledgehammer, and for me, this is quite heavy. Girls, ladies, you can do this too. I don't have the brute strength of some men. But I've learned I can do this stuff too. Now, my last wedge has split down to the bottom, and it's hard to get that out of there. So this is where you start using multiples, so you can pry apart. So go to another spot, put them both in together, so you've got a double thickness of a wedge. Don't worry about that. That happens sometimes. Sometimes your log isn't flat, and you have to brace it with your foot also. So, just like that, I got a split. And now that's more manageable, and it can be split again. So I've got other cracks radiating out. Just choose one that you want to follow. Remember to wear your safety glasses for splitting pieces flying. If you're using anything mechanical, use ear protection. Now this is nice and dry. It doesn't split terrible. The smaller limbs are much harder. And because so many of them broke, I don't have a lot of flat spots. Now this is where I start getting into trouble. A lot of times it wants to tip over. So I've got myself a cinder block here. If you've got something you can use to help lean, to keep it from tipping, put some pressure on it with your foot. You don't want to be swinging an axe at a helper to help you. So always use safety when you're splitting the wood, but now these are down more to manageable sizes for me. People sell this for anywhere from $3 to $5 by the side of the road for campfire wood. You can see this just took a few minutes. I want to tell you too, this is my first day ever splitting wood. I had my lesson this morning. If you're just homesteading, hobby farming, if you're paying out $55, $60 for a cord of wood, it's going to break you fast. If you know anything about maple syruping, it takes a lot of wood. Now, the hardest thing about this is the sledgehammer is heavy and the bending over kills your back. So if you've got a way to elevate the wood, then that's always handy. Now, that wedge is a new wedge. It hasn't been used much, and it hasn't been worn down to a nice point. So, sometimes using that splitting awl is nice. This brand is a Razorback, that red one. So once you get that wedged in there, it stays real nice. Usually you can split them apart. Sometimes it needs one more whack with a double wedge. And then down you go. So, that is your wood splitting lesson for everyone today. If you're starting a campfire or cleaning out your woods, it's a great exercise. It'll wear you right out. Just remember to take breaks. If your back is hurting, chew some walnuts and some dried cherries. They're anti-inflammatory and it'll save your liver from the acetaminophen.